I'm going to show you how to raise up leaders in your church and ministry and fill in the gaps of your staff and your volunteers. I'm going to give you a proven biblical 6-step process that will help you to expand the kingdom, fulfill the purpose for which God has called you, and reduce burnout. If you are a pastor, a ministry leader, or a denominational executive, this video is for you. If you hang in there till the end, you'll have all 6 steps, and then I'll be able to send you a PDF if you request it on the steps and some of the other specific things that I'm going to talk about. You know, current study said that only 11% of Protestant churches say that they do leadership development well, and no wonder. Pastors are overwhelmed. They're doing premarital counseling, the wedding, postmarital counseling. They're doing baptisms, funerals, the whole thing. Oh yeah, and then there is the sermon that's coming up real quick. And just adding another thing can really be a burden. This process is not about just adding more to do for you. It's actually to modifying the way you do what you do in order to expand the leadership base. I was a pastor for over 20 years. I took over a church and changed all of the leadership processes in it. I planted ourselves out of that church. That church plant actually ended up sending out other churches. I was asked to oversee church planting in our area for our association. I oversaw a bunch of churches. I've coached many pastors and church planters in the process. Currently now, with my current ministry, I am coaching pastors. I'm doing leadership development seminars, and I am working with senior leadership teams to build in the very things that we're going to talk about. One church that I am working with, when I started working with them, there were about 300 people. On a Sunday morning, I began to coach the pastor regularly, began to talk about these very things. I worked with the senior leadership team to build in processes and systems, and I worked with the larger leadership community to coach them on these very things at all. They recently moved into a building, and on their first day in the new building, they had over 500 people there. I'm not taking credit for that. They're great at what they do. They are awesome people, but I just helped and encouraged them in that process. Currently, I'm working with 2 global denominations to come up with a church planting process for each of these global denominations. And if you're going to raise up church planters, the first thing you have to do is to raise up leaders. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get started on those 6 steps. You know, my basic premise is that Jesus' method of discipleship, a lot of talk these days about discipleship, and that's great. Jesus' primary method was leadership development. He didn't have just really mature 12 people follow him. He actually created leaders out of them. And I use that as our model. So real quick, what are the 6 things? Number 1, you have to recognize the leaders that the Lord's given you. That happens in the natural and in the supernatural. In the natural, I encourage leaders to make a list of what are the character traits they want in a leader and what are the skills they want in a leader. And maybe there's 10 of them. And you see that there's somebody with 7. And that doesn't mean they're disqualified. Nobody hits everything. But that gap between what you see in them and what you need, that gap is your mentoring assignment for them. So all of that is done in the natural. And then it's also done in the supernatural. You know, before Jesus picked his 12 followers, he went up and prayed all night. I believe he was praying with the Father about who he should pick and how he should work with them. He came down from the mountain and he knew the 12 that he should pick. There are some times that we just need to be praying and asking the Lord, who is it that you're giving me? Who is it that I should have eyes for and faith for? And the Lord will just kind of highlight people and you begin to lean into them and you say, oh, there really is something here. So recognizing who the leaders are around you is both a natural thing and a supernatural thing. The second aspect, number 2, is to invite them into a leadership development process. Jesus put it this way. Come follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. There is both the invitation into a process and also a vision casting and a purpose and a destiny that he was giving to those that would follow him. In the same way, we invite people into this process and say, you know, come be with me, come hang out because I see something great in you. We don't invite them into a title. We don't say, hey, you should do this, this, and this, and give them all kinds of authority. At first, we don't give them a title, we give them a task and we see how they do. which brings us to the third thing, is we equip them. We recognize, we invite, and we equip them. Ephesians 4:11. And equipping also happens on two levels. On one level, it can be very formal. It can be a class. It can be a group that you're working through content together. It can be all kinds of things. And when I work with churches, one of the things I really stress is it's really important for the senior leaders to be regularly in touch with the larger leadership community. Anybody who leads anything. There are three crucial things that should happen in any large leadership community gathering. There's three aspects. Reach out to me and I'll tell you what those are. So there's a formal training. There's also the informal training, which is what Jesus did also. Jesus taught everybody. He loved everybody, but he really just raised up the 12. And he leaned into them and he said, come live with me, come follow me and make you fishers of men. And he lived life with them. And so there are times where you can be visiting someone in the hospital, you can be doing pastoral care, and you bring your mentee with you. You bring an emerging leader with you. You say, hey, I'm going to go teach over here. I'm going to teach this class. You don't need to take the class, but I want you to sit down in the class and watch me teach it. So you're not doing something extra. You're just bringing people with you as you do what you do. Obviously, that's not always appropriate. But when you think about it, it can be done more frequently than you think. And so the third thing is to equip them. The fourth then is to send them out. Jesus sent out the 12. He sent out the 72, sent out the 120. And he gave them specific instructions. He said, as you go, proclaim this message. The kingdom of heaven has come near you. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. So he gives them specific instructions on what he wants them to do. Again, another mistake that I see pastors and leaders do is they try to do everything themselves, and then they realize they can't do everything themselves, so they just let somebody do it. And that's not delegation, that's abdication. Jesus gave them specific things to do when he sent them out, and he held them accountable to those specific things. It didn't always go well, which brings me to number 5, which is feedback. When Jesus sent the disciples out, they tried to cast a demon out of somebody, it didn't go really well. And they came back and they go, how come this didn't work? And Jesus had specific answers. He says, it's a lack of faith, and this only comes out with prayer and fasting. So Jesus gave them specific instructions on how to overcome the obstacle that they had. One of the reasons why some people don't release people and raise up leaders is they say, the quality of ministry will drop. I just need to do it myself. Well, guess what? The quality of ministry dropped when Jesus sent people out, when he trained them, equipped them, and sent them out. And so for sure, the quality of ministry will drop. That's okay. That's not a reason for disqualification. It's just a reason for future mentoring, and it creates more assignments, creates more feedback, that feedback loop. And so we encourage people with that feedback. And lastly is just to relate differently. We relate differently. Instead of the intense mentor-mentee relationship, where it almost finds an equilibrium where they are now friends. Jesus said, I no longer call you slaves, I call you friends. And these people that we've raised up, we're just friends with them. And so we will always be there, we'll always nurture them and encourage them, we'll always be there by their side, answer any questions. But fundamentally, they are just out on their own. The last thing we say to someone when we're raising them up is simply this: what I've done with you, I now need you to go do with others. So you release them to go and raise up other leaders while you now start over. I believe in a perfect world, the senior leadership team are those who can multiply themselves, who are able to walk through this process, both formally and informally, relationally, and raise up leaders. So there you have it. Those are the 6. You have a couple options at this point. 1, take the 6, watch a video, great, go for it. 2, you can download the PDF that will be available. And there's also some other downloads that I will make available if you reach out to me, like, what are the 3 things that must be in every large leadership community meeting? What are the 3 ways that you make ministry transferable? I have all kinds of that information available for you. The other thing you do is jump onto my calendar and make an appointment, because your situation is unique. And I've worked with many, many church planters and pastors and helping them to raise up leaders in their midst. And as I said, I'm working with 2 different denominations right now doing the same thing. And you have a unique situation. So jump on my calendar. I'm happy to grab a call with you. And this way you can reach out and accomplish everything that God has for you in this season. God bless you.